Yet another game is joining the ranks of full-price games that feature microtransactions, as Homefront The Revolution will be having microtransactions in-game. Now, this does come with a couple of caveats, the first of which is that the developers has promised post-launch DLC will be free for at least a year, and that's a quote there, at least a year of free content post-launch, and it will not have a season pass. Now, game designer Fasahat Salim said to GameSpot in an interview that microtransactions will be in the form of loot crates, but they won't be offering anything you can't obtain, apparently. So he said, quote, "It's absolutely not a pay-to-win system because everything we're providing in these resistance crates is available for free in the game through normal play. All we're offering is for those players that don't necessarily have the time to invest in the game to unlock these cool things. It's basically just a time saver for them. A shortcut to unlocking these things. They pay a little bit of money, but they're not getting anything that's exclusive to them." Now, as for those of you who are wondering, well, what is this free content they're giving us? Is it just going to be something silly like, here's a skin, or here's a hat? It will actually be new missions, and they've said, quote, "We're not doing any sort of packs, we're not making map packs or anything like that. As we're done with the mission, we're going to release it, the community can go ahead and play it, and we're going to keep that for at least a year after release." Now, here's the thing. I am very much of the opinion that with a multiplayer game, selling map packs is a terrible idea. All it does is split the community between have and have-nots. That's not to say you can't have paid DLC, but just don't sell map packs. You can sell other things instead that aren't maps. Just don't split the community with different maps and missions behind paywalls or season pass walls or whatever. But by the same token, you guys know very well how I feel about microtransactions in full-price games. I absolutely detest them on principle. Yes, it's all well and good to say, hey, they're optional, but I have always argued that there should not be microtransactions in a full-priced game, ever. There is too much temptation for the developer to make the free-to-play, the actual combat or the gameplay loop or whatever, grindy as shit to tempt people into buying, saying, oh, this is taking forever, I'm just going to buy it instead. There is way too much temptation, and there's always going to be that seed of doubt in a gamer's mind of, like, have they designed this system either subconsciously or purposefully to make it way easier to just go, you know what, I'm going to give you $2 or $5 or whatever the hell the microtransaction price is. I mean, yeah, it's great that they're giving us a ton of free DLC, but can I point out that The Witcher 3 did that too, and they didn't need to feel the need to give us microtransactions? Yes, they had paid DLC, but that's fine. They also had a ton of free content for those who couldn't afford the DLC or only wanted to get one piece of DLC or whatever. They had a ton of free DLC and still managed to do it without microtransactions. So it is possible to have DLC, no DLC or free DLC mixed with paid DLC and no microtransactions in a full-priced game. I'm always going to speak against this because it's not cool. It is milking. $60, I should not be asked for more money in-game unless you're saying, hey, here's some piece of story DLC or whatever. I know some of you are going to disagree with me on this, but my feelings are probably not going to change anytime soon. If your game is $60, it should not have microtransactions. Simple as that. There are some exceptions to this. That's if the microtransactions are purely cosmetic. Say, for example, in the case of Overwatch. But given that that game cannot sell characters, cannot sell maps, and doesn't really have a story to speak of, skins are really the only way they can actually support that game, which is fine. But this isn't like that. This is a loot crate system. So from the sounds of things, it's going to be random drops. Of course, I could be wrong, but that's certainly what it sounds like. I've linked the source interview in the description below, so check it out, guys, and do let me know your thoughts. I'll see you next time.